The world is watching. Tensions are rising in East Asia. Recent naval drills have stirred the waters, not just the ocean. International diplomacy too. A powerful coalition conducted military exercises, not routine maneuvers. They were a statement. A message across the bow of an assertive China. Beijing reacted with fury. But this outrage feels different. It feels more significant. A potential turning point. This single event could ripple across the globe for years. We must pay close attention. These are not ordinary times. The global order is in flux. China, under the Communist Party, sees itself as rising. It believes its time has come. It wants a central role on the world stage. Challenges to that ambition are met with fierce opposition. The drills led by the US and allies are seen that way. A direct challenge, an attempt to contain China and intrude on its sphere. Beijing pushes that narrative at home and abroad. The drills are a clash of two worldviews. The location of these exercises is no accident. They took place in the Yellow Sea. This body of water is strategically vital. It is bordered by China and the Korean Peninsula. It is a gateway to some of China's most important northern ports, including Dalian and Qingdao. For Beijing, this is its front yard. It is a sensitive area. Military activity here, especially by foreign powers, is viewed with extreme suspicion. The proximity to major Chinese naval bases and commercial hubs makes it a flashpoint. The choice of the Yellow Sea was a deliberate decision. It was meant to send an unmistakable message of presence and resolve. The participants in these drills form a powerful lineup. The United States Navy led the exercises. It deployed a carrier strike group, a potent symbol of American military might. Alongside the Americans were key regional allies. Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force was a crucial partner. South Korea's Navy also played a significant role. Beijing's response was swift, loud, and uncompromising. The Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a series of strongly worded statements. A spokesperson condemned the drills as a provocative act that seriously undermines regional peace and stability. They accused the United States of creating a maritime version of NATO in Asia. This is language designed to stoke fear and division. The party claimed the exercises were aimed directly at China. They said it was a return to a Cold War mentality. This rhetoric is a standard part of Beijing's playbook. It seeks to portray China as a victim of American aggression and bullying. The Chinese Ministry of National Defense echoed these sentiments. They went even further. They stated that the People's Liberation Army, or PLA, was on high alert. They warned the participating nations to stop making trouble on China's doorstep. The PLA announced its own live-fire exercises in the same region, a move clearly intended to intimidate. Chinese state media went into overdrive. Global Times coverage, CCTV coverage. They published editorials and ran segments filled with nationalist fervor. They accused the allies of flexing their muscles and threatening China's sovereignty. To understand China's extreme sensitivity, one must look to its history. The Chinese Communist Party relentlessly promotes a narrative of the century of humiliation. This refers to the period from the mid-19th to the mid-20th century. During this time, China suffered a series of defeats at the hands of foreign powers. It began with the Opium Wars against Great Britain. It continued with incursions by other Western nations, most painfully by Imperial Japan. These events saw China forced to sign unequal treaties. It had to cede territory like Hong Kong, and allow foreign powers to operate with impunity on its soil and in its waters. This history is not just a memory, it is a political tool. The party uses it to justify its rule. It presents itself as the only force capable of ending the humiliation and restoring China's greatness. Every child in China learns this version of history from a young age. It fosters a deep-seated sense of victimhood and a powerful nationalism. Therefore, when foreign warships sail near China's coast, it taps into this deep historical nerve. The party frames it as a modern-day echo of past imperialist aggression. It is a powerful and emotional argument for the Chinese people, even if it distorts the current reality. The presence of the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force in these drills is particularly inflammatory for Beijing. The memory of Japan's brutal invasion and occupation of China in the 1930s and 1940s is still raw. These naval drills are more than just a military exercise. They are, honestly, a significant move on the grand geopolitical chessboard. They signal a strengthening of the alliance network arrayed to counter China's ambitions. The United States is clearly reaffirming its role as a Pacific power, and it is showing its allies that its commitments are ironclad. This is crucial. For years, countries in the region have worried about American resolve. These drills are a concrete answer to those doubts. They demonstrate that Washington is willing to put its most powerful assets on the line to uphold the international order. For countries like Japan, for countries like South Korea, participation is a calculated decision. They live in China's shadow. They are on the front lines of its coercive tactics. Joining these drills sends a clear signal to Beijing that they will not be intimidated. It shows they are not willing to simply accept a future where China dictates the rules of the region. By banding together with the United States, they gain collective security. This is not the first time such tensions have flared. There is a clear pattern of behavior. Back in 2010, after North Korea sank a South Korean warship, the United States planned to send the aircraft carrier USS George Washington into the Yellow Sea for joint exercises. China reacted with intense fury then, just as it is now. Beijing mobilized its diplomats and state media, warning of dire consequences. The Obama administration moved the carrier exercise to the Sea of Japan. Many saw this as a concession to Chinese pressure. It was a mistake. Another parallel can be found in the South China Sea. For years, the U.S. Navy has conducted freedom of navigation operations, FONOPs. These involve sailing warships within the 12 nautical mile limit of features that China illegally claims as its territory. They also involve sailing near China's man-made islands. Each time, Beijing protests loudly. It calls the FONOPs illegal and provocative and often shadows American ships. Yet the United States continues to conduct them. These operations are a consistent and necessary pushback. Consider the Taiwan Strait transits. American warships regularly sail through the international waterway. Beijing claims the strait is not international waters and calls these transits a violation of its sovereignty. What makes the current situation in the Yellow Sea different is the scale. This standoff is a classic test of wills. It pits the military and diplomatic power of the US-led alliance against the growing strength and resolve China has invested massively in its military over the past 2 decades. It now has the world's largest navy by number of ships. It has developed carrier-killer missiles designed to threaten American aircraft carriers. The PLA is no longer the technologically backward force it once was. It is a formidable opponent, especially near its own coastline under the cover of land-based defenses. The United States and its allies still hold a significant qualitative edge. American aircraft carriers and submarines, Allied pilots and sailors are generally better trained and have more real-world operational experience. Crucially, the Allied forces have extensive experience working together. The interoperability practiced in these drills is a combat multiplier. We are at a critical juncture. China's furious reaction to the recent naval drills in the Yellow Sea is more than just diplomatic noise. It is a clear signal that the strategic competition in the Indo-Pacific has entered a new and more dangerous phase. The exercises, led by the United States joined by Japan and South Korea, were a necessary response to years of Chinese aggression. They represent a long overdue demonstration of resolve by the world's maritime democracies. They have drawn a line in the water challenging Beijing's unlawful claims and its ambition to dominate the region. The Communist Party's outrage is rooted in manipulated history and strategic anxiety. The narrative of the century of humiliation is a tool used to fuel nationalism and justify the party's iron grip on power. The dragon has been roused and its anger changes everything. The free world must stand firm.